Hey guys, so I'm going to do a tag today. I was tagged, yay, I was tagged by Beth June 327. I will leave a link to her down in the description or off to the side somewhere. So it was the day and night tag, which I feel like has been around forever. I keep seeing it. So I'm really excited to finally be tagged so I can do it. So first question is, do you read more during the morning or at night? And I am one of those people who reads whenever possible, so it's really not about morning or night. It's really just about when do I have 20 minutes in my day. So I read a lot at work because I'm a tutor and people don't show up for their appointments so often, you have no idea. So I just kind of sit there and read when they don't show up. So it's kind of like afternoon, I guess. I definitely also like to read right before I go to bed, so I usually allow myself about 20 minutes before I go to bed to read some of my book. Second question is, are there any books that have changed the way you thought about things? And I'm going to talk about two books for this. First one is Jane Eyre. That was the first book that I really read and enjoyed for myself. I was about 9 when I read it. One of my best friends recommended it to me and I was like, books, who wants to read those? When I can have these like little books about bears. I'm definitely talking about the Berenstain Bears, but anyway. Jane Eyre, I was 9, my mom and I read it together and we took turns reading chapters out loud to each other, and it really just kind of made me a reader. It's also made me into a feminist, which I realized very, very recently in my life that it actually influenced the way I think about life in general, just about my own experiences. I'll probably do a video on that later because it's a really funny story. Second book I'm going to talk about is Legend by Marie Lu. And now this is one of those books that came out of nowhere for me. I didn't realize it was being published until way late in the game, which is really sad because I've been following Marie Lu's blog since she was like in high school probably. I don't even know. I've been following her and her stories and stuff for ages, back when before it was published. I think it was called The Glass Sonata or something, and it was a high fantasy. And I had been reading what she'd post online, and it was awesome. And then out of nowhere, I saw her book in the store, and I was just like, whoa, what just happened? So I picked it up off the shelf and read it, loved it. And it changed the way I think about books because it was the first young adult book that I read. I've been very resistant to reading YA, with the exception of like Harry Potter and the Georgia Nicholson series. Other than that, I didn't read any mainstream YA, and I read Legend, loved it to death, ordered like 6 or 7 other books. Like I think I ordered Divergent, Hunger Games. I went on this binge on Amazon and bought like every single new young adult book I could get my hands on. And from then on, I've been reading them. So that book really changed the way I read books too. Third question is YA or not? And I just kind of answered this, yes, absolutely YA. I basically exclusively read YA now because I find that it's a lot more imaginative and fun, whereas adult tends to be a little bit on the drab side and like, here's a lesson about life that you can learn through this poor child's story and she dies in the end. To be fair, Fault in Our Stars totally ends like that, so John Green, no. Totally love YA. As you can see behind me, that's basically all I read now. I do still read the occasional adult book. I love like Philippa Gregory and stuff, but for the most part, YA. Fourth question, are there characters that you honestly believe are real? Yes. There is one character who I honestly believe is real, and that is Georgia Nicholson from the Georgia Nicholson series. The main character, Georgia Nicholson, I know for a fact, is based on the author Louise Renison and her stories from childhood. So she's talked about them in interviews and stuff about how the real life Jazz, who's her best friend, the real life Dave the Laugh was the love interest. They really exist, and she talks about how she'd be absolutely mortified if these people went and read her books and realized that she's written about them. I think that's hilarious because it totally is a part of the way she writes. It's 100% Louise Renison. Really, other than that, I don't feel like any characters I've read are actually real human beings, like based off of people they know in real life. But I could definitely see them being that kind of thing, like an Anna and the French Kiss or something. I could absolutely see the characters in that story being based on people that Stephanie Perkins knows in real life. But I didn't really feel like they were real people in this world. Whereas with Georgia Nicholson, it was like, oh yeah, she absolutely exists. Fifth question, nobody touches my books, or I'm okay loaning them out. I'm okay loaning them out, honestly. I've loaned like 6 books out to my editor, Alyssa. She has like all of them. She's got the Hunger Games with her, she's got Dark Inside, she's got Legend. I absolutely loan them out to my friends who read. I don't really like to lend out my books to my friends who don't read that often because I know that I'm just never gonna get them back. I lent out the first book in the Georgia Nicholson series like a couple of weeks ago. Haven't heard anything about it from my friend who I lent it to, and I'm like, okay. I know I shouldn't really lend books out to people who aren't avid readers like I am, because I expect to get my books back within a couple of weeks, and that doesn't really happen with everybody else. So that's kind of problematic. Number 6, do you ever smell your books? Yes, I do. Why? Why do we do this? I don't know why we as readers smell our books, but they smell really good. I will spend hours in the library just kind of hanging out and smelling books, which is a weird pastime, but it's mostly because I'm procrastinating other things, not because I go there to smell books. But I swear, it's really weird. Not everyone loves books. Is this a positive or a negative? I can't imagine a scenario where it wouldn't be a negative, except that maybe because not everybody loves books, I get to do this and not everybody does this, so that's kind of cool. But, I mean, I think a world where everyone loves books would be better. I'm kind of accepting of the way things are, but I do wish that more of my friends loved books so that I could talk to them about it at least. I keep my books in the best condition, or maybe not. Sure you. I try to keep my books in good condition. I definitely have books that aren't in great condition, and it's okay with me that they're not. If I buy a book that's new, I try to keep it nice. Especially my hardcovers, I really like to keep those nice. But if I buy the book used and it's kind of already broken up a little bit, it's okay. I definitely prefer to buy books that are newer looking, but if it's the only copy and I really want the book and it's like $1 or something, all bets are off. I'm so cheap, it's not even funny. Gosh, I have too many books. True or false? Absolutely false. I do not have too many books. This is it. I have this and like a shelf full of Penguin books that I got for classes that are like Abelard and Heloise and the Decameron and really, really, really boring stuff. So I could definitely use more books. I wish I had more books. In fact, I will probably go and take some of the books off of this shelf down to the local used bookstore and try to get more books, because who doesn't want more books, right? Have you ever spilled or stained your books with something before? If so, how? Not that I can really remember. I've definitely cried at books and like had the tears fall on the pages and been like, oh god, no, not tears. But other than that, I've never really spilled anything on my books that I can recall. Last question, toned or untoned while reading? In other words, do you work out while you... I've never really done that before. The workout machines at my gym have like little TVs on them, so I can just watch TV, which is a lot easier than reading while you're working out, because the bouncing, the turning the pages and keeping the book open. I also tend to think that like if you bring a book with you and you try to put it up on the little stand, it gets bent. So that kind of goes back to the other question about, do I prefer my books nice and new looking, or am I okay if I wrinkle them or something? And I'd rather not do that if I can help it. So yeah, I don't really do that. I also don't work out. I think I've been to the gym maybe once this term. No, not even. Once last term. Anyway, that was the day and night tag, and now I'm going to tag some people. So I feel like everyone and their dog has done this tag, so it took me a while to find people who haven't done it, but I have a pretty good list here. So I'm going to tag Books Over Looks, I'm going to tag Blonde Book Bee, I'm tagging Vivacious Fiction because I feel like you will do something awesome, because you're awesome. And I'm going to tag The Word Eater, and I'm tagging Wibbly Wobbly Booky Filmy Stuff, who is like some other username, but I'll message you. And just because you gave me crap about it in my last tag video, Carrie, I'm tagging you too. So Carrie for life, you get to do this video too. So I will see you guys all next time. I will be doing more tags later, so yay! Bye!